Alright. Hey guys, it's me, Little Squawker, and today is the second to last day of June, and I know I'm uploading this really late, but I decided to do my June wrap-up haul thingy-majiggy, and yeah, so let's get right to it. So I got 3 tiny books this month, and one of them being The Diary of Anne Frank, obviously by Anne Frank, and I went to a used book sales thing. No, it was at my nature center, and they had this book sale, and all the books were free, and all the books smell like basements and old libraries, and it smells amazing. I have not read this. I have not read this yet, and I feel so terrible for not reading it. So I might include it in my TBR this next month, maybe. Don't know for sure. Sorry, I'm like scattered all over the place. Next book I got is Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card, and I did give away the other version, like the movie version of the book, because I really didn't like the book, but I do like the old school version of it, and the fact that it's a tiny book makes it even 10 times better. And I think Ender's Game is the only book to movie adaptation where I like the movie better than the book. And I might have a blog post about that explaining why. Comment below if you want a blog post about that. And my last tiny book that I got is Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. And this book has been tattered up so many times. I'm also very much in love with it. And this also smells like basement and old libraries. And I love the smell of it. So, yeah. The next 2 books I got from Goodwill, and it is the 2-part, well, it's actually 3 books, oh god, several books. I got the Mysterious Benedict Society, and the Mysterious Benedict Society, and the Prisoner's Dilemma. Both are written by Trenton Lee Stewart, and I'm very excited to read this series. I've heard a lot about this series. My friend's little sister has read this series, and usually she doesn't read, but if she does read, you know, it's really good if she says she really likes it a lot. Another book I got is Cinder by Marissa Meyer, and I recently unhauled this because I got the paperback version, but once I found out they had the hardcover version at Goodwill, I decided to get it and unhaul my paperback. So now I'm currently trying to find the hardback version of Scarlet and Ferris. Another book I got was Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. And I have been wanting to read this book for quite some time now, and I love witches, and I love the anatomy of witches and what they do. And this also has a Borders sticker on it, in case you can't see, and not a lot of people know about Borders, because Borders went out of business, and it's a sad thing, because I had a Borders at my mall, and that was the only thing I really liked in my mall before I went into puberty. So, Discovery of Witches! I'm currently second. He's on my shelf at the moment. The next book I got from Owl Crate, and that is My Lady Jane, written by Cynthia Han, Brody Ashton, and Jody Meadows. And I am very excited to read this book. I wanted to read it this month, but I didn't have any time, so I might have to scooch it along my TBR, and I might read it later on in my lifetime. I don't know that. But I'm very excited to read this, and this is a very much anticipated read of 2016. Another book I got is a big book of Jane Austen, which includes Pride and Prejudice, Northanger Abbey, Sense and Sensibility, Mansfield Park, Lady Susan, Persuasion, and Emma. And I like it when publishers include a whole bunch of novels in one big book by a really famous author, because it gives me the advantage of technically owning a lot of books by an author, but it's included in one big book. And it is a naked book, because I also got this from Goodwill, and I prefer naked books sometimes. I prefer non-naked books, depending on what it is, but since this is Jane Austen, I really don't mind. The second to last, in the middle of filming this, my phone stopped, and then I took off my makeup. Okay, the second last book I have on my list is The Statistical Probability of Love at First Sight by Jennifer E. Smith. And this is one of the very first novels she wrote in her, like, new found, not drama, like, genre she writes now. And she has them all in the same looking font, so if you haven't seen any of her books, shame on you. And this is a pretty short book, which I could probably finish in one sitting. I haven't read any for her books yet, but I'm going to start with this one, because this was her first novel that she wrote. And last but not least, I have the one which I did finish in one day. And it is written by Kiara Cass, and I love this book so much. It was like the Catching Fire for me because I really loved Catching Fire and I really also loved the one. So I'll also link down below of my review for the one that I did on my YouTube channel. So